Hello. Hello, and welcome to Wednesday evening. Yes, I'm doing a later stream today, because why not? Yeah, so I'm going to be doing kind of a mix of things on the stream this evening, mostly lighting related. I did set up and light a couple shots in the last couple days, so I thought I'd show those real quick. Oh wait, no, that's an old one. Let's see. Yeah, so I lit and got that shot set up so we can now see that this is color changing on the leaves. That's gonna be so impressive to Andy and Amp there. They're gonna see the leaves will have this kind of gradient of color change going continuously. Makes them look kind of magical, so that's that shot. So just switching the track there. And also last night I finished this shot, which is the last shot in the episode. The ship kind of flying off into the sunset. So it's just a slow kind of pretty shot. It's maybe a little red, but overall I'm happy with how it came out. Might do a little more color correction on it. But it follows this scene here where Nat's talking and it's kind of sunsetty. And so kind of the last parting thoughts of that monologue are over this shot here. And I think this is the longest shot in the whole episode, maybe. So getting that rendered is a nice thing to get checked off the list. It's like 20 something seconds. This one's also pretty long. This might be the same. Oh, no, I think this one's shorter. 455 frames. Yeah, this one is 600 and something. So yeah, I think that's the longest shot in the whole episode, other than this one, which I already did. So yeah, because those are done now, I can check a couple off the list. I can move the bar for a little further forward, which is exciting. So we'll notch it a couple more. Bloop. I think that's probably right. I haven't actually counted. I could count how many are rendered now, and we could do this proper. So if I go in here, these are all the shots that are actually rendered and finished. Some of them are broken up into multiple segments. So like this. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh man, I already lost count. I'm looking. So these shot numbers here, 400 and 410. So all these are just 2 shots. These both are just 1 shot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I got 13 shots done. So I think my little segment here is actually just about right, because each one of these main bars is 10, so looks like I'm at 13. Yeah. That was some good guesstimating. Yeah, so a little bit of progress, yay! And now I will get to work. But I just thought I would share that. And so kind of the direction today is going is in lighting this shot here. where Zinda is revealed, which I showed at the end of the previous stream. I was kind of keeping it a surprise, but let's be real, I'm not going to be able to keep any of these a surprise if I'm streaming the whole time. So considering only a few people watch these, it's still going to be a surprise to most everyone. So yeah, the Amp and Andy are having a conversation about picking the leaves, and then lo and behold, the bush is actually a huge forest creature. And so that's the shot. It is animated. I also did a second segment after Amp and Andy react and start running away. Zinda starts to follow, and that is now animated as well, which I have here. It's just real simple. So I'm in my lighting file here, and I'm gonna get started lighting. However, there's a few other things I'm gonna do on this stream that are more like little bits. Like setting up a gobo. Let's see here. Just something that hopefully make lighting a little easier. Okay, so yeah, I've set up this thing. Everything is all choppy. And this is just basically a shadow caster. Maybe because whatchamacallit, OBS is running in the background, that might be slowing it down. Usually I would think this like one little plane would be super fast to render. If turn off the denoiser, helps a little bit. Anyways, this is just like a shadow catcher I have set up, and I'm gonna make a couple little edits to it and make like a variation on it so that I can use it, reuse it in a few other scenes as I light these other forest shots. I'll probably want to use them for lighting to cast kind of leafy looking shadows on Andy here and on the ground, which is what I did here. So if you notice, while Andy's walking, the light kind of comes and goes on the face to kind of simulate that they're walking through like the shadows of trees, and that was done by using these gobos here. I didn't use them in this scene because the real trees are casting the shadows. But anyway, I just pop one of these in front of the light. You can get fancier ones, but for me, this is doing the job. I just want to make a couple variations on it and have the edges like faded so it's not hard edges. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna do that with like a vertex map. So could probably set up some sort of like gradient texture thing that does it. But I'm also going to make a circular one, and that'll be harder to do with a circular one. Actually, it probably wouldn't at all, come to think of it. Yeah, so maybe I'll just do it with a gradient. Let's see if I can remember if the Blender shaders have got like easy square gradients. There's our sphere, so that's easy. But no square. Yeah, so I'm going to do it with vertex map. It's what I know. So I think it just automatically made this for us, maybe? Vertex color, byte color is fine. We'll call this edges. Just out of curiosity, actually. I wonder if face corner is any nicer. Nope. It is the same. So get rid of that. And yeah, so this is, you know, it doesn't need to look really pretty because it's just a shadow casting thing. So there's our little map. What is the... Okay, so that works. I might be able to just mix this. Almost there. Just have it backwards. What I could do is just invert that. There we go. So that's the idea. Now the edges are kind of softer. We won't see any shadows of like hard lines. And so now that I have that set up, I'm going to maybe do a little custom property on it. Actually, these are so small, I'm just going to end up copying them and I'm not going to link them or anything, so. Hey, let us dance! Nice to see your dancing lettuce. Happy Wednesday. How are you this week? Been away for the past week because my parents and sister have been visiting from Europe. Oh, cool. Yeah, well, today's the first week I'm streaming. Or the first day I'm streaming this week. That's what I meant to say. So I think you haven't missed anything. I think you were here for my last one, and here you are. Grid fill, yes. Oh, but no. I might try and stream tonight. It's been 10 long days. You're getting the itch, huh? Well, if I'm streaming too late myself, I might stop by and say hi. What are you gonna stream? Okay, there we go. Not sure yet. If I play Team Fortress 2, I'll stream. Aha. Okay, so same thing. I'll do, call the edges. I'll duplicate this and call a gobo mat circle. Trying to fix a problem with your animation scene. Do you work in Maya at work? I think I have to project the UVs onto this mother. Okay, that should do it. Yep. Okay, so now I have a couple gobos. Can use to cast shadows, and I can just mess with the noise and the mapping to create different, you know, density of shadows if I want. Motion Builder mostly. Maya is just for the facial animation. I've never used Motion Builder. Okay, yeah, and those are see-through. So I'm going to mark these two as assets. Go in here. And I'm going to move them into my color comp light place. And then save. And the hired as contractors, my boss was not surprised that none of us had ever heard of Motion Builder. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I used to hear that name like years ago, and then I haven't heard it in more years since. I got a couple new shots rendered I can show you. I showed them at the very beginning of the stream, but I don't think you were on yet. I got this one rendered so you can see what the color changing leaves are going to look like as they're running towards them. And I also got this last shot of the episode done. The ship is flying off into the sunset. La-di-da. And yeah. So I'm in lighting and comp mode this week because I need a break from animating. Ah, you like it? I might color correct this one a little more still, but yeah, I'm really happy with how it came out otherwise. Yeah, so tonight I'm working on this one, which you saw. Gorgeous, thank you. That's what I'm going for. Trying. Yeah, so this one I just quickly today animated the cut back where Zinda starts following. So now this shot can get started with lighting. And there's a few utilities I'm just setting up for myself that I'm going to be using in this shot and a few others. So that's what I was just working on. And the other one, oh my god, Ray is here. Hello, Ray. Ray's on YouTube today. It's so nice to see you. It's been a while. How are you? What have you been up to? Tell me everything. Yeah, so the other one I'm going to set up is a HDRI. I'm going to pre-render HDRIs because I'm using, you know, these animated clouds, but they take forever to render and set up. They're very, very painful because I'm using another program to render them because they'll just take too long in Blender. So, but for static shots, there's no need to have like an animated render of clouds. I can just have an HDRI, right? But I need the HDRI to match the rest of the shots. So I have to make my own HDRIs, and that's what I'm about to do. Which I think, let's see. Yeah, I used like this shot. I made an HDRI, and so this shot is rendered with an HDRI, but based off the same clouds that are in this shot type of thing. And so I'll be doing that so that in this shot here, we can use an HDRI background. We don't have to have the full volumetric clouds in the scene. I'm good. I think YouTube has a bit more of a delay. It looks amazing. Thank you. Thank you. And Dance. Hey, Dance. That avatar looks familiar. The username doesn't, but I feel like I know who you are. There's Let Us Dance and then Dance. Let us dance. Dance. Oh, you're on YouTube over there now too. Okay. Nice. Two of my best supporters together at last. Now you're over here on Twitch. That's funny. Hey, it'll help boost my numbers. I'll have 4 instead of 2. There was a delay. Okay, so YouTube has a longer delay, huh? I guess that's good to know. Although I was talking for quite a while without looking at the messages, so that might have thrown you. So yeah, I'm going to set up an HDRI for this shot, and it takes longer for the message to show up on the stream. Okay. I see. And I'm going through Restream too, so they probably introduce a delay as well. But anyway, Looks so nice. Thanks. I was just showing, I don't know if you saw, I was just showing Let Us Dance some shots I recently rendered. Let's see, there's that one. You might not have seen that because it's been a while. So they're walking through the forest, we got this one. And then they're talking, and then they're running, and they run up to this magic shrub with color changing leaves. Blender, rendered in Blender, baby. Cycles. Except the clouds. The animated clouds I'm rendering in Omniverse because it just takes 1,000 years to render noise-free clouds in Cycles, as you might know. So that's what makes the process so painful, and I'm trying to keep it to a minimum. I'm only using animated clouds in as few shots as possible. And I got this one done overnight last night too. And so this is the last shot in the episode. The ship is flying off into the distance. So that's where I'm at. And yeah, the ship has color changing lights. It's a party. So I'm experimenting with different ways of rendering the cloud. Like in this shot, this cloud is rendered with Eevee in a separate pass because you know, Cycle's too slow, and with the forest and everything, it's just way too much. It would take like half an hour frame to render this if I had the cloud in the same scene as everything else. But the issue with Eevee is the lighting wasn't as nice, and I couldn't use all my custom light setups with multicolored lights, so the lights ended up kind of just all purple. They're a little bit color changing, but not as much. But in this shot, I rendered the cloud in Cycles, and it's using my original light setup, which is a little flickery, but it needs a little more work, but it's got color changing lights based on a shader. So yeah, I can show you. I have this animated shader, and that maps to the lights, and I set up these different kinds of animations for the lights to do, thinking we could have lights that cascade from front to back and inside to outside and stuff like that. Honestly, after like looking at the renders, you can't really tell. It just kind of looks like color changing lights. So I might simplify it a bit for the, you know, future shots. But thanks. Yeah, I think it's pretty. But yeah, if you look closely, you can see there's like some flickers and stuff. So rendering the cloud in Cycles, the ship cloud in Cycles is not super easy to get a good result with. But I'm doing it where I can get away with it, you know. And there's only, I think, a few more shots where we'll even see it. So, but yeah, if I open the ship rig, so somewhere in here, texture viz. Nope, not that one. Cloud. Here we go. Let's see if this will run. Okay, so I have these animated shaders, and this is the one that's on by default. So this is probably the one that was running. Yeah, which would explain how rainbowy and quickly the colors change. And I didn't spend too long on these. This is just like the magic shader in Blender. It's pretty default. I just animated some of the parameters, but let's see if oh, hold on a sec. Need to get that in there. I set up a couple different ones. So then there's this one, which I thought would be cool for when the ship is flying forward. So the idea was like these black stripes will make it so that the lights blink out. Yeah, lava lamp, totally. So that the lights would like kind of dim out and then come back in, and we'd have these like waves of light coming through the cloud. That's the idea. It doesn't seem to really work very well. I did a little render test and it's not that noticeable. And then I did a circular one too, which I thought would be fun if like the ship is landing, for the lights to kind of be moving in a wave pattern. So yeah, that's the way it's set up anyway. The end result still needs a little bit of tweaking, but I think I'll set this one as the default because yeah, I think this will be a little less flickery. Oh, but you know what? I'm not going to save this because I changed a bunch of stuff. All right. Anyways. But as for today, I'm going to set up, I think I'm going to set up a sky and some clouds for this shot. And then I will copy that into a blank scene and render in HDR. Yeah. So let's get started. Let's see if this is like, oops. That's weird. Come on. There we go. Okay. Working on animation too. Back to the basics for me. Oh, nice. Is it a personal project or is it a portfolio thing? I remember you were working on your portfolio, I think, last time we chatted. Yeah, sorta no. Doing walk cycle. Fun. Because it's been a long time since I've done any animation. Yeah, I mean, I haven't animated a straight up walk cycle in, oh, I don't even know how long. Years, literally years. So we are moving towards sunset time, but we're not totally there yet. By the time they get back to the ship, though, the plan is that, I mean, obviously we can't be further through sunset than we are here, but we'll be pretty much in the same spot, I think, by the time we get here to this shot. I'd love to see kind of like an early sunset thing with like a backlighting thing. I think that'll be really dramatic and pretty. So that's what I'm gonna be a little higher in the sky than that for the shot I'm doing now. What was its name again? The character, oh, Zinda. The fur pattern on the creature, yeah. And this is the under pattern, I guess. It shows up on the fur too, but the fur is not in the render at the moment. So it does have real fur. Maybe something like that, maybe? Yeah, I like the idea of the sun kind of coming through the wings, and there's going to be trees back there too, so there'll be some big shadows. Do I prefer a stylus pen to animate or prefer a mouse? I usually use a mouse, but I've been using a pen for the last couple weeks because I've been having a lot of hand pain, so I'm trying to give my thumb a break. It doesn't seem to be working. I'm thinking of like wrapping it or something, or getting like a little thumb brace or something. I don't know if I like jammed it in my sleep or something, or what, or if it's just sore because I've been working on this so much. But yeah, it's crazy. Braces are a good idea. Do they make them for like just individual fingers? I don't think so. Oh, might have to make my own, like out of popsicle stick and some. The renders. Good, thank you. The pre-production is paying off. Let's see. too much. So I'm not really looking at the sky color right now because that'll change, but more just the lighting on Zinda. Oh, no worries at all, chat. Chat away. It's just nice to see you again. It's been such a long time. And Kai too. I was thinking of y'all because I know y'all are like a crew. So I was just hoping y'all were doing good, enjoying the springtime. So maybe I do want kind of some shadow and some contrast. And let's increase this. This will soften the shadows a bit. I feel like very tempted to add more light in the front, but also I'm kind of going for almost a silhouette effect in this shot. I'll try just a little bit. Doesn't really do anything. May I ask what kind of work would a junior animator be doing? Clean up? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of taken on a new meaning in the 3D world, I think. I feel like in my experience, like I've only worked in a few studio, like big studio environments. Most of the places I've worked have been really kind of small places where they just have like 3 people. There's maybe only 1 animator, maybe 2. So in that case, they just get like 2 freelancers who are fairly experienced if they can. But in a bigger studio, the less experienced animators, they kind of start them on like cycles and background characters and stuff like that. So I must have been doing a lot more work. I don't know what you mean. A lot more work. Sorry. Please clarify. Yeah, I think that helps. Still kind of dark in the body here, but we have a little more nice rounded lighting on the face. It's not quite so flat. So turn the denoiser on and see how it looks. So the next thing to do would be to, I meant like maybe smaller studios would be putting more workload on you since there's not as much employees to distribute the work. Yeah, sometimes I think I don't know. I think honestly it just depends on management more than anything. Like if management is trying to just burn everyone to a crisp to save as much money as possible, that can happen in a big studio or a small studio. Like I've worked in small studios where it was like the most chill, laid back place. We never worked more than 8 hours in a day. And then I've been on, you know, the opposite, so. Okay, so for lighting, that's a start, and I'm going to bring in the forest now so that we can kind of look at it all together. So I'm going to save up a version because this might break everything. Path. Uncheck localize all so that all the trees and stuff, the scatter system is going to come in, it's going to be copied and not linked, but the trees themselves and everything will still remain linked, so it won't blow up my file size. But yeah, linking in the scatter system itself seems to cause a lot of problems. Switching to more chill music. Okay, so we got the forest in there. And I've placed these kind of cones here. These are stand-ins for where I want to put some custom trees, because I want... Wow, this really slowed everything down, didn't it? I want to create this feeling as the camera pulls back that, like, you know, trees are passing by in the foreground, and that'll just help enhance the feeling of massiveness. So I'm going to replace these cones with trees. Yes, yes, massiveness. Yes, makes the feeling of an emerging giant, exactly. So I should just be able to instance out these ones that are already imported. I don't know why they're all grayed out though. Oh, this is why. So I'll grab this one. And Alt-D to instance. So again, we're just going to reference the same mesh. It won't blow up my file because these are huge assets. If I put them in the file or copy them, I'll end up with a file that's like 600 megabytes or something crazy. So it's good to be mindful of that. And one of these pine trees. Okay. Shower time. Enjoy. All right. So, got our real trees here. We don't ever see the ground in this shot, so it doesn't really matter if stuff is, like, doesn't make sense with the ground. However, I do not want to fully cover the wings popping out because I like that moment. I think that's a great moment where we go from like, what is that to like, what is that? So I don't want to cover that. So let me move this. Just a little hint of leaves coming on the side is enough to sell it. We don't need to have the whole tree like in our face. Yeah, I might have it come in just a little later. There we go. Yep. No. So what I'm trying to do, if I'm successful, is, well, there's a train. Is try to lead the eye through the frame, which is why I'm trying to make sure we don't cover the wing popping out, because I'm going to try to kind of have the eye bounce back and forth. Like we see the wing pop out, then we look over here, we see these leaves coming by, and then we see the face start to emerge, and that other wing pops out, and then we come back over here with this tree. So that's the idea. It's just really kind of create some movement of the eye across the frame back and forth. Make this shot feel really dynamic. These are the things I'm thinking about. Okay. So I feel like this would be a good frame to test the lighting. So we've got foreground and background and all that. And my viewport render is just going to show me these same white low poly trees, so I think I'll have to do a full render to see the real trees. Well, let's take a look. I might put some more mountain in the background too. Yeah, I feel like it needs more like mountain action in the background, and it also needs more light. Some like dappled light coming through here. We're gonna fake, like, it looks like the trees have pretty much fully blocked out the actual sun that would be coming in and hitting right here, so we're gonna fake it with some extra lights and use those gobos I made at the beginning of the stream to make them look extra leafy. Yeah. Just checking. I might want to animate that to track up with the character. I don't know. Figure it out. So I'm going to try to match the angle of my existing sun close-ishly and add another to the spot this time. screw it, the angle is going to be different. So yeah, you can see this will just help break up the light to make it feel more like it's coming through trees. Set that to... Is he or she a forest fairy? Yeah, I would say so. I'd say that's a good description. The working title of this character was The Natural World Representative. Catchy, huh? Kai's rating. Hello, Kai. Long time no see. You're both here today. So nice to see you again. Let's see, the wing clips that thing, but it might not matter because it's just out of frame. Maybe? And then the tree blocks it. I think we can get away with it. Maybe not. That might show up. Well, well, well. Fancy seeing you here. So yeah, let's turn the forest back on and see if that helped at all. It does cast a lot of shadows. Because I did really like how the light was hitting these foreground trees too, so I might drop another one of these in for those as well. How long have you had this story idea for? Like years or months before you started even storyboarding? Yeah, good question. I think the initial idea of like doing something like this started, I would say, in mid 2020, but it was not at the time gonna be character based. I was thinking originally more something like I don't know if you're familiar with the channels School of Life or Kurskazat on YouTube, but I was thinking more like just talking about ideas with a voiceover and some generic stick figures maybe, and then yeah, I kind of realized, oh, this would be way more fun if it's like character based, especially if I want young people to be interested in it at all. So yeah, kind of edutainment a little bit, because there's some heavy ideas I want to try to get out there, man. So why not make them a little more fun to hear about? We young? Yeah, I should say the young at heart or at mind or something like that. Yeah. Anyone who's still got an open mind and cares about the world, I would say, to be honest. I think if you have an open mind and care about the world, then this will be for you. And I can tell from talking to you folks that obviously you fall in that category. And I appreciate that. But yeah, adding characters, Jesus, it multiplied the scope of the project by like a factor of 10. It went from being like, oh, this is something I could do an episode every 2 or 3 weeks to like, now I'm wondering if I can get 2 or 3 out a year. Hopefully I can speed things up. It's a rarity to have Ray in the room with me. I know, well, the both of you, especially at the same time, I think. I don't even remember. Okay, cool. So now we got that foreground light hitting. Name my shit too. This just helps me if I want to go in and quickly grab these lights and copy them into another scene later. I can just type a light and then I can find it real quick. Yeah, the wings are more decorative. The wings, I'm imagining Zinda just kind of floats around. The wings are just there. Definitely a magical character. Okay, let's try a frame of the actual whole thing. With the trees and everything. And the fur. The fur should be in here. Might take a long time to get started, but gotta do it at some point. What was the hardest part of the planning process? Let's see here real quick. Just make sure. Ooh, that'll help a lot. I should have had that on the whole time. Okay. I just wanted to get that started before I talk, because we'll be waiting for a minute for this. What was the hardest part of the planning process? Well, I guess if by hardest it means that I was the least successful, it would be estimating how long all this would take. That has been the most ridiculously huge mistake I think I've ever made as far as like estimation. It's just crazy how overly optimistic I was. But as for like what I feel challenged by in a like fun way, I would say is kind of just thinking about, I don't know, it's tricky because I have to not get too attached to outcome. Like I can't put the cart before the horse, as they say, I guess, you know, and just assume that this is all going to take off and everything. So I have to keep my feet on the ground and like not have huge expectations. But every once in a while, you know, it takes some time to think about, okay, well, if this takes off and this ends up like being my new job or something, how would I handle it? What would I do? You know, like, how would I roll everything out? And, you know, what would I need to learn? There's so much. It's just so much, but it's a big dream, and I'm really excited about it. So I do hope it does come together, and so that's like a fun challenge in it. This thing is still loading. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate you both rooting for me very much. Thank you. Oh man. Well, we all do, I think. But yeah, I've definitely worked for it. It's been a while. Yeah, and you asked earlier, like, when did I start? So the initial idea thing started like probably summer 2020, like I was saying, but the idea that it became the big bright ship and that there were going to be characters on the ship, and this idea of like this kind of shapeshifter ship that goes different places, and the characters that embody different aspects of our personality, that all kind of came together know. I guess. Well, let me think. So I think I started making the ship in like January of 2021. Or no, maybe even October 2020. I don't know. I'm gonna look back at my file and see what the date stamp on the earliest version of my ship model file, because that's the first thing I started making, other than sketches, was the model of the ship. The first. Oh, weird. They're all dated from 2022, so that's no help. Set model. Empty forest ship. Old ship cloud setup. Everything's 2022, 2023. I think maybe in my old rig files. Yeah, I've got January 2022. But I know I started modeling before that. I'm pretty sure I started modeling in October of 2021. So that would mean like the summer of 2021 was when it first probably started turning into a idea resembling what it is now. Three years is amazing progress, though. Planning to modeling designs to animation, it's insane. I agree that it is insane. Oh my goodness. Okay, well there's that. So that's got the fur and everything. I I feel like this needs more. It's so different too than the I think there's a lot of reflected light that comes off these proxy trees, and so everything is brighter. But yeah, I think I need some more light in the face here. Maybe a little more on the body too. So let's see what happens if I turn this one up higher. Also, I realized today, like, not only did I plan this episode as way too many shots, I think it's 45 shots or 43 shots or something. It should have been like 15 to 20 at the most. But not only that, but I also made it like in a forest, just like the hardest thing to render. Which was, yeah. My whole plan originally was like, okay, I'm gonna make the first episode not too ambitious. Well, yeah, not quite. Yeah, I think that'll help. It's just kind of a generic fill to kind of just brighten everything up a little bit. I have highlights turned off though, so we don't see a big disc in the eyes or anything like that. I'm gonna go a little brighter than it looks like I should because it feels it's gonna be darker in the actual render. Yeah, let's try that. Horror shots are great though for shot composition, cinematic shots, views, lots of movement if you're panning, blowing the wind. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Interesting. It's a pain, but it will be pretty. Yeah. Yeah. I set up a thing to even add some ambient movement. It's not going to be in this shot. It slows everything down so much I can only use it in the shots where it'll really be noticeable. But these shots with the static camera where they're just talking for a long time, I mean, I'll drop in this stuff so that there's like a little ambient movement on the leaves and stuff. A little bit of wind swaying and stuff like that. Yeah. As for this, not super happy with how this lighting is going so far. I think I might need to change the angle of the sun a little bit and brighten it up. It's just a shame that it's so different than the viewport, but what can you do? It's so funny, it looks so different in this shot. Okay, so I'm gonna save up a version. Oh no, what's it doing? My tablet is acting up. Okay, so let's turn off these for the moment, and I'm going to reposition the sun. Probably need something a little more like this. So this helps. I have these custom controls that I set up so I can turn down the reflections on the eyes. I can just turn them off if I need to, which is what I have usually been doing, because I got the fake eye dots in there. Oh, crazy. That's why everything's so wacky. Oh, much better. Oh my god. Let's try that. Loading, loading. Yeah, the snout, I'm learning. I don't think I've ever done lighting on a character like this. And it's tricky to get the snout to not be dark, but also have like side lighting. I guess I'll just try another fill in there. What's the one skill do you think is the most important skill to have in your field of work? Oh man. This is a hard question, so I'm gonna narrow it down. Do you mean like specifically animation, or do you just mean like CG, professional CG work in general? Animation. Oh. Oh man. Still hard. There's so many. And I feel like you'll get a different answer no matter who you ask. I guess, I don't know. I don't know. Like, if I had to pick one, for me, it's professionalism as far as how I conduct myself. That's mine for me. If I were hiring animators, I might have a different answer. I'm not sure, because I don't hire animators. But by professionalism, I mean, you know, show up, you don't argue with the director or supervisor. You're willing to learn, and you know, you recognize the talent of everybody around you, that kind of stuff. Hire Ray. I'd love to. I would love to. I do hope that I can hire some people to help me with this someday. Okay, this is gonna work better now. Let's see, so this one, I wonder if I can constrain it to the head so that it just lives in this space all the time. I'm gonna try. The question is, does it move into the body in a noticeable way? Mm-hmm. That's gonna show up. No, no, no. Oh, come on. No, I don't know. You're probably right. The few times I've tried to like manage other people, it's been a disaster. It doesn't come naturally to me. Let's see. I will formally apply through a real demo reel and resume, and then I can decide. Well, I agree, that would be wonderful. And yeah, I would love if that's where this goes someday. That would be so nice. Okay, I think this is probably gonna work better. And I went ahead and brightened up the eyes a bit too. I've got another shader override on those so that, like, if I want to, I can have them render like fully unshaded. Supposedly. It doesn't look like it's working though. Oh, I wonder if I forgot to hook it up. Let's see here. Yeah, sure. Shader overrides and oops. I must have forgotten to hook the shader up because it's not working. I had all these overrides for materials and stuff. I had them all on the armature, the body rig originally, and that turned out to be a huge mistake. Just FYI, if you're ever doing something like this, don't put anything you might want to override in the lighting file on your animation rig, because if you put an override on both, if you put an override on the rig in both files, you're gonna have conflicts. Things won't get saved, blah blah blah. So I had to move all the properties that I would want to change in the lighting file onto these little empties down here, but I probably forgot to link up the shader to one of these properties or something. So anyways, I can always go in and fix it if it seems like it really needs it later. I probably will have to at some point, because in most of the shots I need to do stuff like that. Takes forever to load this forest. Actually, I could probably speed this up by turning off all the stuff that's on the forest floor. We really only need to render the trees, at least for the moment. Huh. It's so different. Okay, well, the nose light is helping, but it does need to be a lot brighter. And maybe I should bring the sun around to the front a little more. Yeah, let's go in and address this here. This will speed things up a bunch. Let's turn off. Let's see. We do see it here, so I'll have to render the scene with it in the end, but for now I can turn off all that stuff on the forest floor. So that would be... That's it. So yeah, we should get faster faster renders now. It's like, it looks bright here, but then in the render it's so dark still, so I'm just gonna crank it way up. I mean, it seems like it should be way overkill, but who knows? Yeah, the sun. Making the sun like insanely unrealistic, but I'm just trying to soften out this face lighting a bit. It's really tricky. I've never tried to light a character with a snout before. I mean, I did another shot I rendered with Zinda already and lit Zinda for that one, but it was pretty much just flat, straight on lighting. Still taking a while. I do feel like things are getting way more sluggish. It might be time to restart Blender. Yeah, this should not be taking this long. This is why I always save before I hit render. What's the idea behind the flying forest bear dog? It's a representative of nature, pretty much. So I figured anytime I want to communicate an idea of, you know, like nature related stuff, this could be, you know, a very useful character. There's other ideas I have for this character later as well. That's what it looks like to you. Flying forest bear dog. Yeah, I see it. I see it. I keep thinking lion. That to me, it's very lion-y. I guess because of the mane and it's kind of a cat face, but I can see those other animals in it too, which I guess is the point. Like, it's supposed to kind of be a catch-all, catch-all animal. And yeah, I was just really trying not to copy the forest spirit from Princess Mononoke, because that's very tempting. It's a really cool character. Okay, I think that, you know what, it doesn't feel much to me like it's outdoor, and it's probably all these cheat lights that I've put in, like the fill lights. They're making the lighting feel fake to me, which it is. And as far as this weird kind of like coloring, it's like a mismatch in the color between the way the fur is rendering and the shader on the skin. So I'll just have to fix that in comp, but I'll be able to do that, and I'll be able to make this match, and so we won't see this this kind of like fringing in the color. That'll be taken care of. But yes, I think this is a tricky one. It is a tricky one. I have another idea, and that is to raise the light up a little bit, a little less sunsetty, increase the atmosphere bounce So everything's just a little more ambient overall, and then kind of get rid of these fake fill lights that I'm using. I think that'll look better than what I have right now. So let's try that and save up a version. Narrow that back down a little bit maybe. So it feels more like a real sunlight. And yeah, the bounce. Well, one thing I could do is I could turn the ground. And what that's going to do is, because I'm using the FastGI approximation, I don't really fully understand how it works, but the general idea is like it uses your world environment light to kind of fake GI after a certain number of bounces, in my case 2. So it should theoretically like increase all the GI brightness to do that. Let's try it. Before I turn up the atmosphere. Does Zinda hibernate? Yeah, I would say Zinda was hibernating before the kids woke them up. Zinda's hibernating in this shot here. So they're like yanking on Zinda's leaves. But before that, yes, Zinda's hibernating. Exactly. Young whippersnappers. Yeah, so what am I doing? What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm turning this back on. And let's just see what happens with this. Oops, wrong one. That might actually be the ticket. Let's see. Okay, yes, this is automatically feeling more like I want it to feel, other than that weird coloring around the mouth and nose. But lighting wise, now I'm kind of feeling like I should, now that this is all brightened up from that other change, I feel like pushing the sun back a little bit over to the side again to get more of the, just a little bit more of the profile again. Different than the fairies I'm used to, like the Winx Club fairies. I haven't seen those. Winx Club. What have I been missing? Okay, let's see. Let's go back to the side a bit. Oh, oops. Forgot to turn the forest back on. Oh, wait. No, it'll work. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes, we're getting somewhere. The angle is maybe still a little much in the front, but if I bring it too far to the side, I'll be back with the same problem again, where this is all dark, maybe. So I feel like I should just leave it, quit while I'm ahead, and what I can do in comp is darken and maybe increase the contrast a bit to bring back a little bit of the drama. But this gives me all the information I need. I can always darken it back down again, but it's harder to brighten it up if the render is too dark, since I'm not doing like 32-bit EXRs and all that. So yeah, let's look at a couple more frames to confirm. Oops. I guess I should look at this too with all the other stuff turned on. Oh, and a few background mountains. So yeah, that's a thing. So that, let's see, how does that work? I do append. This one. Imagine the whole land moved around you like that. Yeah, it's fun when it works. I feel like that would be a fun job. Like if I did work in games, I'd like to make maps and do that kind of thing. I feel like that stuff they just introduced. I don't know if you guys saw the tech demo for the new Unreal stuff. It's on YouTube the other day. Oh my god. Amazing. Oops. They like had this stuff set up where you could just like move islands around, and all the, depending on how, you know, close it was to other islands, like all the land in between would change, and the river bed would dry up or it would fill up with water, all just based on where you placed things. It was all based on like rules of, you know, nature and all that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. Okay. And then the other thing I want to do is add some clouds, which won't actually be rendered into the final shot, but I will be using their placement to create an HDRI that I'll render. So I thought it would be nice to have some clouds here too, kind of in the lower space, kind of living over the tree line a bit. These kids are tiny. They got walking stamina. Yep. Make sure I'm not blowing up my file. Let's see. Yep, we're good. Yeah, they've been on a long walk. We don't really ever see how far they've come, but yeah, if they walked along this whole trail. So like the idea is like if we were to draw a map, the trail kind of goes off this direction, wraps back around and comes back up into the valley where the ship has landed, and the ship would be on a hill that's like right up here. So that's kind of the idea of where everything is. And you, so like when we see, so the ship comes in and lands in this valley, and then when they run off, they're kind of running out here, and the idea is they've kind of come around a corner up here, and then we catch up with them when they've already come around that corner. So back that way is where the ship is. And there will be a test on this later. The main point is just that, like, I'm just looking at direction of movement through the shot. This shot's kind of an exception. Things kind of move right to left a little bit, but the ship is still, I feel like it's okay because the ship is still kind of facing off this way. But the whole idea is like kind of everything is going right to left until the kids get to Zinda. And then this is their time where they stop and they do their stuff, and then as soon as Zinda starts chasing them, everything starts moving back left to right. And so left to right is the direction everything goes for them to make their escape, and they're always trying to move off to the right to get out. And then when they finally do leave at the end, they go off to the right, out of frame. Just as when they're coming in at the beginning, they're coming from right to left into frame. They're going the other way on the way out. So that's kind of the whole strategy. And this just helps kind of create a flow of action. This helps you decide like where everything should be. It helps you decide where the lights should be in your shots, and can help you kind of create a visual language as you go. And you know, you can think about where's the sun going to be when they're facing all these different directions, and then you can kind of start thinking about how you want to light things before you've even gotten into lighting, and that can inform your animation decisions. And yeah, so I don't know, I enjoy that kind of thing. Some people get really, yeah, like in a production they get way deeper into it and they'll like make a color script and all this stuff, and I'm not going that far. I'm just kind of keeping it in my head for the most part. Let's see. It's interesting to see that play out. Oh, thank you. Good, I'm glad. And it's not just It doesn't really have too much of an effect um, on like watching the making of, but yeah, it informs my decisions behind the scenes. Put a shader on these mothers. Let's see. When I do the HDRI scene, that's when I'll really set up the proper lighting on this, but for the moment I'm just gonna... Oh yeah. There we go. That was easy. Okay. So Kai, I don't think I asked you how you been. Yeah, these scenes The forest scenes get so huge. There we go. At the moment tired. I have like pink eye from dry allergies. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, I think you were sick last time too. And you had been for a while, yeah? I'm sorry to hear that. That's such a drag. Being sick for a long time sucks. Hang in there, it will end. Everything is temporary. You will feel better. Well, this is going to take on a whole new life of its own or whatever in comp. I'll be doing a lot of corrections and I'll probably crank up the saturation a bit. But it is looking a lot better than it did. I think it's getting pretty close. I am very tempted to push the angle of the sun back to the side a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't just hose me. You might fall asleep to my stream. Okay, I'll try not to scream or bang on the mic by accident. Oh, thank you. I take that as a high compliment. I'm perfectly happy for people to fall asleep. Because, I don't know, I used to love listening to Bob Ross when I was a kid, and so if I can bring some of that energy into the world, then it'll make me happy. Although I don't know if energy is the right word, is it? Aw, shucks, you guys. Yeah, I think my shader overrides aren't really working right. I'm gonna have to troubleshoot that later. Because these should have no sun highlight on them. Oh, hello, Fuller. How's it going? Good to see you again. Okay, let's try that. Crunching. You working tonight? Is it nighttime where you are? Or are you doing ab crunches? I shouldn't just assume. It's nighttime here. Gonna be working through the night. I think it was better before. And I think the sun intensity could come down a touch. So, shoot, what was that angle, I wonder? Let's see. It was like 40 something on the horizontal here. $61. 44.3. I think that was it. Let's take a look. Probably should have made an attempt to remember that. Yeah, I think that was it. Okay, so this is the lighting angle I'm going to use. And let's take a look at the first frame, because that might be a total mess. Oh. Just waiting for this big old forest to load. Hopefully it looks good. I think if anything I might just have to add another like kind of fake dabbled sun onto the foreground characters here. But also we only see them for like a second, so might not even really need to bother. Is it stuck again? I think it might be stuck again. See if I can save. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yes. Yeah, I think this thing is stuck. Okay. I feel like when it gets stuck and it says initializing for a really long time, then it just is stuck. So I'm gonna force quit. Oh. I had a like total meltdown there. Am I back? Okay, I think I'm back. Yeah, that was major. I think that froze my whole computer. All right. One more time. Uh-oh, lost data. Doesn't sound good. Looks like it's all still there. No. Anyways, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was gonna check the first frame. So yeah, I think I'll check this and probably be calling it soon. Kind of like everything took longer to do this than I expected, but that's just the way it always goes. So I was thinking like, oh, maybe I'll get that HDRI rendered tonight. Maybe I'll do the comping tonight. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Here it goes. Well, and actually, I haven't lit the preceding shot yet, so I don't even really know what I'm going to be trying to match. So yeah, I'll probably have to come back to this one before I do the final render on it anyway, but I think this is... I would just maybe want a little more light here on the leaves, but otherwise it's already working pretty well. I like that there's some light on Amp and Andy here. That's what I was hoping for. So yeah, that's a good start there. But yeah, I think I will have to light this shot first before I decide. Because we hang out here for a long time, so I want to make sure it looks good. And then that will inform how this looks here. So that's the plan. And I guess one thing I would like to do, this will be the last thing for the stream. I would like to bake the physics on this thing so that we can actually see the wings and stuff in their full glory. So yeah, that's that, and 1360. They look a lot better with the auto physics on, and I don't have to animate it. So, hooray for that. I'm using a free add-on that some kind soul put online called, what was it called? Bone physics. Gravity collider? That doesn't sound right, but I think I renamed it. But anyway, yeah, gravity collider is probably what it's actually called. And it just sets up these quick things for you that you can then use to create physics sims on chains of bones. It can be cached, and now we have wavy ears and wavy wings. Get nice curves in there without me having to pose every single bit of it. It's a huge time saver. So smooth, yes. And all for free. Initializing. Did I save? God, I hope so, because I might have just frozen it again. Oh, there it goes. Yep, so there'll be some comp stuff to do to fix the skin color. And maybe I'll even add some more like rays coming through like I did in the other shots or something. And I will probably darken contrast in here to create more of a silhouette feeling. And that's gonna be getting there. I think maybe a more hazy sky too. I'll play with that later too. I don't know. It doesn't all fully have the drama yet that I'm going for, but we'll get there. So oops. I'm making a huge mess on my desktop here. And it's time for me to stop. So yeah, that's it. To those of you who are still here, thank you so much for hanging out. It was great to see you all again. And I think my avatar got frozen, but hopefully you can still hear me. And yeah, thank you. It was great to talk with you as well, Ray. Great to see you again. I hope things are going well with your new animation stuff you're working on. Good luck with that. And I hope to see you around again soon. Alrighty, you guys have a great night. Bye-bye.